Full dish from Jokic.
Jokic, no look, the blind feed. Jokic backing in, little hook shot, he's good.
After winning 3 MVPs in the last 4 years, you'd think Nikola Jokic had reached his ceiling. I mean, at that point, we're talking about a guy already operating at an all-time great level. How much higher could he possibly go? Well, apparently higher, because last season, Jokic somehow leveled up again, playing better basketball than he did in most of those MVP seasons, and those were already ridiculous. We're talking about a guy who was putting up video game numbers while casually dismantling defenses like it was a Tuesday scrimmage. But last year, that was beyond phenomenal. It puts him in rare company. Think about the absolute peak versions of the game's best players. Michael Jordan from the late 80s into the 90s, LeBron James in the early 2010s, Shaq in 2000, Curry in 2016, Hakeem in 94 winning MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, Duncan in 2003, Bird in 86. And now, Jokic's 2024 season might just join that list. Statistically, arguably one of the greatest seasons in NBA history. He averaged 29.6 points, 12.7 rebounds, 10.2 assists, and 1.8 steals per game, all while shooting an outrageous 62% from the field, 42% from 3, and 80% from the free throw line. That level of efficiency is rare for any player, but unheard of for someone carrying this kind of scoring and playmaking load. He became the first center ever to average a triple-double for an entire season, joining Oscar Robertson and Russell Westbrook as the only players in league history to do it. His 34 triple-doubles were the most ever by a center, and that means he recorded one in almost half of the games he played. When stacked against Robertson and Westbrook's best triple-double season, Jokic comes out ahead in nearly every advanced stat, and he did it with a far greater efficiency. Both Robertson and Westbrook posted a true shooting percentage of 55% in their peak seasons. Jokic finished with 66%. The numbers didn't stop there. He set career highs in points, assists, and three-point percentage, while becoming the first player to ever finish top 3 in points, rebounds, and assists per game in the same season. His 32.2 PER ranked second in NBA history, trailing only Wilt Chamberlain. And he led the league in offensive box plus-minus and offensive win shares. In several other categories, he was either at a career-best levels or at the very top of the league. The impact on his team was staggering. The Nuggets were 19.8 points per 100 possessions, worse with him off the floor. With Jokic, they had one of the best offenses in NBA history. Without him, they would have ranked last. Every possession flowed through him, whether it was his passing, his outside shooting, or his dominance inside the paint. Jokic's season wasn't just statistically dominant, it was the kind of all-time peak that reshapes how a player's place in history is viewed. Statistically, Jokic's season looked more like something you'd expect from a point guard. The difference is he's a center, and not just any center, the first in NBA history to average a triple-double over an entire season. He's also the first to ever hit double digits in assists per game. But the numbers only tell part of the story. Jokic is one of those rare players whose greatness lives in the spaces between the stats. The no-look dimes, the half-court buzzer beaters, the ridiculous touch shots in traffic. You don't need a spreadsheet to see that he's mastered the game. Every time he's on the court, it's obvious he's playing at a level no one else can match. And at this point, there's no debate. Jokic is the best player in the world.
Jokic ahead to Westbrook, and Westbrook puts it away. Right around Isaac. Bye-bye, baby. And the Denver Nuggets are #1 in the league in fast break for a reason.
The craziest part about Jokic's dominance is that he's done it all without the kind of elite help most all-time greats have had. No all-star teammate, no all-defensive teammate, no all-NBA teammate, no Rookie of the Year teammate, not even a teammate leading the league in any major statistical category. In fact, over his 10-year career, Jokic has never had a teammate check any of those boxes. And in the last few seasons, it's fair to argue Denver could have added more championships to their resume if not for their thin bench and lack of depth. That's why, going into this offseason, there was one clear priority: maximize the Jokic years, take a big swing, build a roster that can not only keep pace in the regular season, but hold up under the weight of a deep playoff run. And that's exactly what Denver did. In the first 48 hours of free agency, they completely reshaped their roster. They traded for Cam Johnson and Jonas Valanciunas in separate deals, then brought back fan favourite Bruce Brown and added Tim Hardaway Jr. in free agency. Speaking of which, the major centerpiece of Denver's offseason was the Cam Johnson trade, a move that on paper looks like a straight shooter-for-shooter swap, but in reality could redefine how Denver's offense operates. Now, Porter was a beloved player in Denver, a key piece of the 2023 championship team, one of the most dangerous shooters in the league. But Porter never developed as a passer or creator. He was a scorer and a rebounder, and that's where the skill set ended. Cam Johnson, on the other hand, brings a similar shooting threat of 39% from deep on essentially the same volume as MPJ, but plays with a completely different rhythm. He moves more, he looks to pass more, he's more comfortable making the extra read to keep the offense flowing, and while he may not rebound like MPJ, he brings better defense, more versatility, and a higher basketball IQ. Johnson had a solid year in Brooklyn, averaging 18.8 points and 4.3 rebounds, but what really stood out was his growth as a playmaker. He's not going to be a primary creator in Denver, but he doesn't need to be. With Jokic as the offensive hub, all Johnson has to do is space the floor, make smart cuts, hit open shots, and keep the ball moving. All things he does at a higher level than Porter. Plus, the trade freed up $17 million in cap space, giving Denver more flexibility in reshaping how this team can operate around its best player. But soon after landing Cam Johnson, Denver's front office struck again, sending Dario Saric to the Kings in exchange for Jonas Valanciunas. It was another smart move, turning a bad contract into a rock-solid backup center. Valanciunas might be past his prime, but compared to recent bench options like DeAndre Jordan or Saric, he's a massive upgrade. The 13-year veteran remains a rebounding machine with a soft touch around the rim and the ability to knock down an open jumper. In Denver, his role will be smaller, probably 10 to 15 minutes a night, but perfectly suited to his skill set, giving the Nuggets a legitimate frontcourt anchor when Nikola Jokic rests. And while the Nuggets lost Michael Porter Jr., a key part of their title run, they brought back another familiar face from their 2023 title run, Bruce Brown. In that championship season, Brown was the ultimate Swiss Army knife, often closing games in a super six-man role. He can defend every position, handle the ball, slash, rebound, hit open threes, and most importantly, fill in whatever gap the team needs. But the front office didn't stop there. They addressed another glaring weakness from last season when they ranked dead last in three-point attempts per game by signing sharpshooter Tim Hardaway Jr. A career 36% shooter from deep, Hardaway has been a high-volume gunner his entire career and will now step into an offense where open looks will be plentiful. He's a true threat from well beyond the arc and doesn't need much space to get his shot off, making him the perfect floor spacer to play alongside Jokic. All in all, they've added shooting, defense, playmaking, and size, all while keeping the best player in the league squarely in his prime. And with a roster like that in a stacked Western Conference, there's no reason this team can't cruise past 55-plus wins.
Cam Johnson, 6 of 7. And
Valanciunas, oh wow.
Long three for Hardaway Jr. And it's through.
With that being said, while Denver didn't add a certified all-star to pair with Nikola Jokic, the pieces they brought in could make him even more unstoppable. Jokic directly generated 39.6% of Denver's total points last season, scoring 2,071 and assisting on another 1,850. It's a testament to his dominance, but also a sign of over-reliance. He played nearly 37 minutes per game, far too heavy of a workload over an 82-game season. Relying on one player that much isn't sustainable for a team chasing multiple titles. Not when opponents can key in on him without fearing the rest of the roster. This year, things should be different. The Nuggets have depth, they now have the pieces to survive and even win the non-Jokic minutes. Jonas Valanciunas and Aaron Gordon give them enough size, skill, and rebounding to hold their own when Jokic rests. Ideally, Jokic this coming season should be closer to 32-33 minutes per night, with some full rest days sprinkled in. preserving his legs for the playoffs. But another advantage of this retooled roster is that there isn't a single player you'd label as selfish on offense. Everyone in the starting five is a willing and capable passer, and the second unit might be just as strong in that regard. Cam Johnson brings not only shooting, but also underrated playmaking. Bruce Brown operates like a pseudo point guard, capable of running the offense, handling the ball, and making the right reads while rarely forcing his own shot. Jonas Valanciunas may not have a flashy passing reputation, but his court vision and decision-making have always been quietly excellent for a big man. If there's one player who breaks slightly from Denver's pass-happy, beautiful game approach, it's Tim Hardaway Jr. THJ is a born scorer, and he's never been shy about letting it fly. But that's not a flaw here, it's a feature. Every team needs a scorer who can swing a game when the offense stalls. Some nights Hardaway will have fans shaking their heads, other nights he'll bury 7 threes and blow the game wide open. In the end, the Nuggets now have a deep, balanced rotation where almost every player moves the ball, plays the right way, and makes the most of every possession. The result? This season's version of Denver could be the most entertaining and most dangerous yet. Bring all of this together, and what you get is a Jokic who's more unstoppable than ever. When the floor is spaced, with lethal shooters like Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Aaron Gordon coming off his best shooting season yet, defenses can't just collapse on Jokic anymore. They can't send double or triple team without risking giving up wide open threes from multiple angles. This kind of spacing stretches defenses thin and opens up the court like never before. Jokic's passing vision is already legendary, but now those passing lanes are even wider and cleaner. He's not forced to thread the needle through tight traffic. He can hit his shooters in rhythm, turning every possession into a potential highlight play. Plus, with more shooters who can consistently knock down threes above 35%, defenses have to respect the perimeter. That means Jokic gets more room to operate, more space to back down defenders, more lanes to drive, and more opportunities to create plays off the dribble.
Jokic and one.
Jokic is on the move.
Jokic, the putback and the foul. Jokic, that is too easy.
Of course, it's not always about offense. The Nuggets' new signings bring serious defensive upgrades and depth that makes this team tougher all around. Bruce Brown is an elite, switchable defender with playoff experience, ready to take on the league's best wings. Cam Johnson, while having defensive ups and downs in the past, is expected to thrive in Denver's system. With less offensive pressure, Johnson can focus on being an above-average wing defender. This improved perimeter defense gives Denver a stronger starting lineup that can lock down opposing shooters and switch effectively. It also allows Nikola Jokic to focus more on rim protection rather than scrambling to cover defensive gaps. Denver's defensive scheme leverages Jokic's quick hands and elite rebounding, minimizing his weaknesses by having him step out on ball handlers while others protect the paint. The new roster adds valuable lineup flexibility, balancing offense and defense seamlessly. The Nuggets didn't just make Jokic more efficient, they made the whole machine harder to break. This depth and defensive upgrade could be the difference between a strong irregular season and a true championship contender. Tell him he's an elite 83% free throw shooter. The truth is, you can't game plan him out. You can only hope he has an off night, and those nights simply don't exist anymore. At 30, Nikola Jokic is in his prime of his career. Coming off the greatest season he's ever had, he's the league's best passer at a position not known for passing, and one of the best shooters at a position not known for shooting. He combines all that with elite scoring, rebounding, and offensive power that few have ever matched. The Nuggets now have their best supporting cast since their 2023 title run, maybe even better. They're deeper, smarter, and scarier than ever before. Denver has built a roster that perfectly complements Jokic's unique skills and maximizes his dominance. After winning 3 MVPs in 5 years, it's hard to believe Jokic could get better, but he did. The Nuggets know this is their moment. They are all in to win now and have surrounded their superstar with the talent and depth to do just that.
Jokic knows exactly where Brown is.
Look out! And he hammers it home.
It's like watching a video game out here.
Jokic under to Brown. He scores again.
So the question isn't, can Nikola Jokic dominate the NBA next season? It's who's going to stop him. Let me know in the comments if you think Jokic is a lock to win his 4th MVP this year. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We've got way more videos coming your way.